Alone in her room, the princess lay awake, twisting herself in the sheets and searching her heart as she'd done every night for the past 5 years. Why did no one satisfy her? What was she looking for that she couldn't find? Her battered heart offered her no answers. Exhausted and miserable, she had just drifted off to sleep when a knock came on her door. The princess sat up. Was it the queen, ready to offer a kiss of apology and commiseration? The king, bearing one more threat or warning? Or perhaps it was the royal advisor, in possession of some magical task she could present to her suitors that would separate the most worthy one out from all the rest. But when the princess opened her door, the figure standing in the hallway was not the king, or the queen, or the royal advisor. It was someone she had never seen before. The princess's visitor wore a black cloak that fell from neck to ankle, and a black hood covering his hair. But his face, when she gazed straight into it, was lovely and captivating and warm. His cheeks were round, his lips were full and soft, and he had bright blue eyes to drown in. "Oh," the princess whispered softly. "Hello." "Hello," her visitor whispered back. The princess smiled, and when the visitor returned her smile, she felt as though all of her blood had been drained from her body and replaced with a mixture of soap bubbles and light and air. The princess drew her visitor inside, and they spent the night together in the princess's canopy bed, kissing and joking and talking until dawn. When she fell asleep, just as the sun was rising, the princess was happier than she had ever been, and when she dreamed of a life full of more joy than she had ever dared to imagine, a life overflowing with laughter and happiness and love. The princess awoke with a smile dancing on her lips, her lover's hand on her hip, and the king and queen and the royal advisor standing over her. "Oh dear," the princess said, blushing. "I know what this looks like, but listen, I've done it. At last, after all these years, I've made my choice." She turned to her lover, who was still hidden under the bedsheets. "I love him," she said. "Nothing else matters. This is the man I choose." The king and the queen shook their heads sadly. The royal advisor snatched the covers off the bed and threw them on the floor, and then, before the princess could object, he lifted the visitor's thick black cloak and shook it. Out of the cloak tumbled a cracked mirror, a dented tin bucket, and an old thigh bone. The princess felt a crawling sensation on her hip where her lover's hand had been. She looked down and saw that it was only her own hand there, twitching with fear. "I don't understand," the princess whispered. "What have you done with him?" "We've done nothing with him," said the royal advisor. "This is all he ever was." The princess opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. "Here," the royal advisor said. "Let me show you." He lifted the thigh bone from the bed and propped it against the wall. He lashed the mirror to the top of the bone with a bit of string, and he tied the bucket to the middle, and then he draped the black cloak over it all. "You see," said the royal advisor, "when you looked in your lover's face, you were looking at your own face reflected in this cracked mirror. When you heard his voice, you heard only your own voice echoing back to you from this dented bucket. And when you embraced him, you felt your own hands caress your back, though you held nothing but this old thigh bone. You are selfish and arrogant and spoiled. You are capable of loving no one but yourself. None of your suitors will ever satisfy you, so put an end to this foolishness and marry." The princess made a choking sound. She